Actually,
hey, our warden is speaking.
Who said that?
P5 said we gotta go to bed.
Girl, please don't get me started on her. Are you back? Are you playing tomorrow?
Bro, shut up.
That's all I want to know.
DiJonai Carrington just attacked Satou Sabally after the final buzzer. Not during the game. Not in a heated moment of competition. No, this was different. This was personal. Carrington waited until the game ended, then made a beeline toward Sabally, sparking chaos on the court. Cameras captured teammates stepping in to stop it from turning into a full-blown fight. The crowd stunned, commentators speechless.
Lads, the DiJonai Carrington and Satou Sabally beef lives on. It lives on.
And yet, the league? Silent. So what exactly happened? And how did it get this far? Because this wasn't an isolated meltdown. It's part of a disturbing pattern, one that's threatening to tear the WNBA apart from the inside.
It's disgusting what's going on with her. You guys need to put a stop to this because it is going too far. She was out there hacking again versus Phoenix today. And not only was she out there hacking and doing all of that stuff, let's look at her trying to interrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satou Sabally and Mercury players. Let's look at this nonsense. You guys need to put a stop.
And if something doesn't change soon, the league may lose everything it's built. Let's start with what happened after the final buzzer. The game was over. Satou Sabally was still on the court, tying her shoes, talking with teammates, and that's when DiJonai Carrington stormed over. Not to shake hands, not to congratulate, to confront.
Well, she'll be joined by Kate Longworth in just a few moments, and tell you what, man, they're still kind of talking back and forth. And there's some serious drama going down here after this ball game ended.
Well, I'm surprised security is not out there a little bit more.
No kidding.
Between the players, they're letting them talk, but just walk them off.
You know, I think if anything else, this sets the table for the next matchup, which will be July 3rd. The 3 more times these two teams will meet throughout the rest of the regular season. And it was Carrington, as you mentioned, who wasn't even on Dallas's team last year, and Sabally.
Video footage shows Carrington approaching Sabally from behind, teammates stepping in as tension explodes. Sabally looks confused. Carrington looks furious. Security? Nowhere to be found. It's like the referees just clocked out for the night. This wasn't just unsportsmanlike, it was dangerous. And it wasn't the first time, because DiJonai Carrington has made headlines before, not for buzzer beaters or game winners, but for hair pulling, hacking, trash talking, and taunting opponents with reckless abandon.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, DiJonai Carrington, you are the dirtiest dirtbag of them all. Dirty play, DiJonai Carrington.
This is a pattern, and this time, she may have crossed the line for good. Carrington's history isn't subtle. She's been building this reputation brick by brick, game after game. Flagrant fouls, cheap shots, eye rakes. She once yanked an opposing player down by the hair in a moment that had fans questioning how she avoided suspension. And her beef with Sabally? It didn't start here.
The truth is, though, low-key, they kind of have been going at it, so to speak, for some years now. I remember I saw a clip back in from 2023. Just YouTube it here, guys. It's on YouTube here for free. Just type in DiJonai Carrington, Satou Sabally 2023. They got into it, they kind of clashed, and then DiJonai Carrington had said something to her out of bounds. She did something to her. She got fined $200, and then they was on Twitter talking about it. And DiJonai Carrington had added Satou Sabally. She was like, "Come on, Satou, you know it ain't even got to be like this." And Satou Sabally was like, "Girl, whatever." Again, Satou Sabally, okay, has been she's slick at the mouth, okay. Her and DiJonai Carrington, they act like they ain't got no media training. They act like they ain't got no home training sometimes.
Back in 2023, Carrington was fined after a heated incident with Sabally. The tension spilled over onto Twitter, where Carrington tagged her in a tweet trying to downplay it. Sabally didn't bite. And ever since, the tension's been simmering.
Spinning her feet, Seth Carrington with the shoulder shake. And non-ball pressure, how tenacious she is. Throws a hand there, got the space.
Now it's boiled over and in front of the entire world. Here's where things get even more disturbing. Carrington isn't just aggressive. According to analysts, she's strategic, a selective bully. She only targets players she thinks she can intimidate. She doesn't go after 6'4" league veterans. She doesn't swing at Aja Wilson or Brittany Griner. No, she picks rookies, younger players, anyone under 6 feet, opponents who are less likely to swing back or make a scene. It's not random, it's calculated. Carrington is using the league as her personal chaos stage, stealing spotlight from her teammates and forcing the camera to stay on her, even when others deserve it. Like Paige Buchers, who had a career-best game that same night, completely overshadowed by the post-game fight. It's become clear this isn't just bad behavior, it's ego-fueled sabotage. And the most shocking part of all, the league is doing nothing.
The Dallas Wings actually put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA. The Dallas Wings put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA. The worst possible role model you can have is dirtbag DiJonai Carrington. Now, I don't know if there's a screw loose. I don't know if we just lack emotional control. I don't know if we just lack self-control, self-awareness. I am not sure what the issue is with DiJonai, but she just can't seem to contain herself.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has been widely criticized for turning a blind eye. No suspensions, no statements, no leadership, just vague PR tweets about sportsmanship, while Carrington treats post-game handshakes like a UFC weigh-in. Fans are asking, is this a basketball league or a reality show? And what message does it send? That it's okay to lose your temper, that you can attack another player after the buzzer and walk away without consequence. That chaos is fine, as long as it gets clicks.
In drama yet again in another basketball game, and this time it's with a top-notch player, man. Her and Satou Sabally had a powerful exchange after this game, and you already know Phoenix put the beast on Dallas. Dallas, one of the worst teams in the league. This should come as no surprise, bro. But one thing I can tell you is DiJonai Carrington behavior is starting to look a little spooky, bro. At this point, bro, something has to be done.
But here's the truth. The WNBA is playing with fire. And if they don't act fast, this won't just be a PR nightmare. It'll be an existential threat to the league's future. What DiJonai Carrington did wasn't just another flagrant moment. It was a signal, a breaking point for a league already walking a tightrope between rising stardom and self-destruction.
All this drama, all this K-pop Breakfast Club crap going on in the WNBA has to stop because it's taken away from the actual game. People are focused on the drama because it is worth talking about, but it's overshadowing the actual sport. When you have a game like this, which is a 1 in a million thing in the WNBA, people should be encouraged to watch the next game. But instead, you have people being encouraged to not tune in because of all this crap going on, all this fighting, and you got DiJonai Carrington always getting into fights. She's always getting into trouble. She's been doing it since the beginning of my time watching the WNBA. Ever since we got into this league, she's been a problem, and she's not even that good, so why do teams even pay her money?
Because this time, it wasn't just a mid-game shove. It wasn't just trash talk. This was a premeditated post-game ambush that made Sabally look like a target, not an opponent. It was public, it was aggressive, and it was caught from every angle. Yet somehow, the WNBA stayed quiet, and that silence says everything. While Carrington's antics stole headlines, Paige Buchers' incredible performance was buried.
Paige Buchers just had a historical game only to the likes of Caitlin Clark. In fact, those two players as rookies are the only two rookies to have 35 points with 5 3-pointers made in a game.
Caitlin Clark, arguably the biggest name the league has ever had, now has to watch this chaos unfold and ask herself, is this the league I want to be a part of? Because, let's be honest, Caitlin Clark didn't sign up to be blindsided after buzzer beaters. She didn't join the WNBA to become a punching bag in someone else's ego war. And if things don't change, she won't be the only star eyeing Europe. Players have worked for decades to get women's basketball to this point. But one unchecked ego, one commissioner's refusal to act, and one more violent post-game moment might be all it takes to send it crashing back down. This isn't about drama anymore, it's about direction. The WNBA has to decide what kind of league it wants to be. A respected global brand or a chaotic sideshow where fights trend more than highlights. Carrington doesn't need another slap on the wrist. She needs to be held accountable. Suspensions, fines that matter, statements that mean something, and most of all, a commissioner who leads like the future depends on it, because it does. Carrington can't be allowed to hijack the league for her own brand, not when it risks pushing out the very players like Sabally, Buckers, and Clark, who are finally bringing women's basketball into the mainstream. So what do you think? Is Carrington out of control, or is the league failing to stop her? Should the WNBA step in before it's too late? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hard-hitting WNBA coverage.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, DiJonai Carrington, you are the dirtiest dirtbag of them all. Dirty play, DiJonai Carrington.
DiJonai Carrington's shocking hair pull attack is the moment that could finally end her WNBA career.
Friends might be one of the vicious assaults, I'm gonna call it, DiJonai Carrington might have done on any player. Worse than the eye poke, I feel like this one right here was.
But this is not just about one foul, it's about a dangerous pattern that many believe the league is turning a blind eye to. And with Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in the sport today, already targeted once before, fans are now asking, will it take someone getting seriously injured before the WNBA steps in?
DiJonai Carrington wants to get on her social media and want to claim that she's the victim and that she's not a dirty player. The league has rescinded fouls. Yeah, the league's rescinding flagrant fouls on you because it's run by a bunch of cowards. They're flagrant fouls. They're dirty plays. They're trashy plays. Someone's going to get very physically injured. At this point, DiJonai Carrington, forget about it. You won't beat these allegations. You won't.
Because right now, this isn't basketball anymore. It's starting to feel more like the WWE.
You're so dangerous. Satou!
Only there are no staged outcomes here, and real players are being put at real risk. So what exactly happened, and how did it reach this breaking point? Stay tuned, because what you're about to see could spark the biggest player ban in modern WNBA history.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Clark, guard for the Indiana Fever.
Gets bumped, will take, and hit from three.
It all started building quietly. DiJonai Carrington has long been known for her tough defense, but recently the conversation has shifted because this is no longer about playing hard, it's about playing dirty. In just the past month, Carrington has racked up 3 official flagrant fouls, and that doesn't even include 2 additional incidents that went uncalled but left players shaken and fans outraged. The latest moment, the one that lit up social media, was her hair pull attack on Sarah Ashley Barker.
Carrington. Whoa!
During a tense third quarter in the Dallas Wings vs. Los Angeles Sparks matchup, Carrington grabbed Barker by her ponytail and yanked her violently to the floor. The arena gasped. The replays were brutal. Yet incredibly, referees called it just a loose ball foul. No flagrant, no technical, no ejection.
Keep this, guys. Check this out right here. Let me know if I'm tripping. Even the announcer had to go, whoa, bro. He was just stunned. Let's watch it again. Watch it again. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Whoa. Come on, bro. You can't justify that. You can't justify that. Look at that. That's nasty work, bro. I'm going to just keep it real. That nasty work there, man.
Commentators were stunned, fans were furious, and the clip exploded online with captions asking the obvious, how is this not an ejection?
So DiJonai Carrington, being the dirtbag that she is, she decides to grab a ponytail's worth of Sarah Ashley Barker's hair. Nice. Yank. Woo. Woo. And then DiJonai Carrington has the audacity to sit there on the floor acting as if she did nothing wrong.
But that was only the latest in a growing list of dangerous plays. Let's rewind. Earlier this season, Carrington delivered a reckless hit on her own teammate, Paige Beakers, leaving coaches and fans breathless. Then came a cheap shot on Jessica Shepard, borderline flagrant, again going unpunished.
Throwing it to Jessica, all right? All right, so pay attention to this. Now in this angle, you see Paige already making a pretty good defensive play right here. She has a hand on the ball. She's good to go. That's a good defensive play. But then you have DiJonai coming from behind with force, all right? This is a reckless chase down. Pushes Shepard and Paige forward, right? Gets the block. Now look at Paige Becker's leg, all right? This is why this is dangerous. This isn't basketball right here, man. This is unhinged, upset, frustrated play. That's what this is, all right? That's exactly what this is. Paige's legs are completely from under her. So she's falling straight to her back after you done came in and pushed both of them forward, right? Then not only did she push her forward, she had her hand on the ball, and then she rakes back. Look at that. Bam, right on the eyes, scraping back.
But perhaps the most disturbing was what happened to Caitlin Clark, the league's brightest rising star. During a recent game, Carrington swiped directly at Clark's eye while she was bringing the ball up the court. The footage is crystal clear. Frame by frame, you can see Carrington's fingers rake across Clark's face. Clark instantly winced, grabbing her eye in visible pain. Carrington later tried to downplay the moment as an accident. But the replays tell a very different story. And the fact that it happened to Caitlin Clark, the player drawing millions of new fans to the WNBA, made it even worse. But it doesn't end there. In her last 5 games alone, Carrington has swiped Caitlin Clark's eye, undercut Skylar Diggins midair, delivered multiple hits to opponents' heads, committed a dangerous hair pull, now viral worldwide.
DiJonai, folks, somebody built a little nice complication. Salute to you, anti of dirtbag DiJonai and all of her glory. Look, we got this. We got the Jessica Shepard eye rake heard across the world. Or, folks, I cringe when I see these plays. We got DiJonai Carrington not having any body control at all, falling all over the floor, scratching the t-shirt. Look at her. She's scratching all over me, ref. She's scratching all over me. She's digging her nails into my arm, referee. What are you doing, buddy? We got this play against Ariel Atkins, a clean play, but DiJonai Carrington just loves doing the whole, I'm going to reach back as far as I can and swat at you. I mean, dirtbag. Are you desperate for a big play, or are you just... You guys get the point. We got the Skylar Diggins, the volleyball spike. I mean, come on. And then we have our most recent hair pull. Look at that, guys. Come on. In what world is this acceptable? Dirtbag DiJonai is going to get somebody hurt.
This isn't coincidence. This is a pattern. And that's exactly why fans and analysts are so outraged. Under league rules, accumulating this many flagrant fouls should result in an automatic suspension. Yet here we are, with Carrington still suiting up as if nothing happened. And it's not just casual fans who are angry. Former players, sports writers, and veteran analysts have all spoken out. One radio caller summed it up best. This isn't hustle. This is someone treating the court like a back alley. But here's where the story gets even more troubling. At the heart of this growing backlash is not just Carrington, it's WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Despite weeks of viral clips mounting fan outrage and clear evidence of dangerous behavior, Engelbert has remained silent. No public statement, no fine, no suspension, nothing. And that silence has become its own scandal. Because if the league won't even protect Caitlin Clark, the player driving record TV ratings and bringing new fans to the sport, what message does that send? Already, posts across Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube are asking the same thing. Is this the example you want for young girls watching the WNBA? How can the league claim to stand for no room for hate when this conduct is allowed to continue? And most damning of all, is player safety just a talking point, or does it actually matter? As video compilations of Carrington's dirtiest plays continue to circulate, the pressure on the league grows by the day. One analyst put it bluntly, either the WNBA acts now, or they risk losing the credibility they've worked so hard to build. And now the tension has reached its peak. This is no longer just about DiJonai Carrington's actions on the court. It's about the WNBA's integrity and whether the league truly values player safety over protecting its own image. Across the basketball world, the calls are growing louder. Fans, commentators, and former players are united in one message: this can't continue. The idea that a role player like Carrington can repeatedly cross the line, grabbing hair, swiping eyes, undercutting opponents without facing real consequences has become a public relations disaster, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Because this isn't just about enforcing rules anymore. It's about protecting the league's biggest stars, starting with Caitlin Clark. Clark has already been targeted once. If something worse happens to her on the court because of the league's inaction, the fallout will be catastrophic. Not just for the WNBA's reputation, but for its future growth. That's why many are now calling for a season-long suspension, or even a permanent ban for Carrington. Harsh? Maybe. But when player safety is on the line, harsh action is sometimes necessary. The WNBA says it stands for fair play, professionalism, and no tolerance for hate or violence. Yet the silence around Carrington's repeated offenses tells a very different story. And here's the bottom line: every game that passes without real consequences only drives more fans away. People tuned in this season because of the excitement surrounding Caitlin Clark and a new generation of stars. They didn't come to watch a highlight reel of dirty plays. Now, all eyes are on Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Will she finally take a stand and show the league takes its own values seriously? Or will she once again choose silence and image over integrity? Because one thing is clear, if this continues much longer, the real people who will be banned won't be the players. It'll be the fans choosing not to watch. What do you think? Should DiJonai Carrington face a permanent ban? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated as this story develops, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this controversy is far from over.
Unfortunately, the Indiana Fever star will be out at least 2 weeks with a left quad strain. The team announced that Monday. Further updates will be provided following reevaluation, the team had said. SA, how big of a blow is this to the W?
We'll find out. We don't know yet, but I'm going to be really, really interested in seeing, Molly, what kind of effect this has on the WNBA's ratings.
Stephen A. Smith just lost it on national television, and Angel Reese was the reason why. After yet another stunt aimed at Caitlin Clark, Stephen A. didn't just criticize her, he torched the entire league.
I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents.
From resentment in the locker room to jealousy boiling over on the court, this wasn't about one player. This was a warning shot. But what exactly did Angel do to set him off? Angel Reese has never been shy about her feelings toward Caitlin Clark.
Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too.
I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too.
A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
From the moment Clark entered the WNBA, the spotlight followed. Cameras, fans, sponsorships, and national headlines. And while many saw it as a game-changing moment for women's basketball, some saw something else, a threat. That's where the resentment began. And according to Stephen A. Smith, it's reached a breaking point.
When it was really all said and done, we know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
This time, the drama erupted after Angel Reese appeared to downplay Caitlin Clark's achievements. Again, Whether it's brushing off Clark's records or throwing subtle shade in interviews, Reese has built a pattern. And while some call it competitiveness, Stephen A. called it what it really is, bitterness.
The fact of the matter is that it has to start somewhere. And if it starts somewhere, a rising tide lifts all boats. You jump on that tide, you jump on that boat and elevate and use them to elevate your play or to elevate the attention you garner. It's very simple, but people didn't want to do that. There was a lot of people that didn't want to do that. Let's call it what it is. I ain't gonna mention no names, but y'all know who they are, and they didn't want to do that. And I'm not talking about players and just players. So about announcers too.
Not just from Angel Reese, but from many veterans and stars in the league.
For us to get just constantly shit on, you can't even acknowledge the growth and how amazing the WNBA is doing because shit like this happens. You didn't even have to bring up the W. If you're gonna say that it's for that, then stand on that. But I don't think I think he's trying to make a business decision, which he's a businessman, that makes sense. But to mask it in this, I want to uplift and support WNBA players and women athletes is kind of a cop-out, I think, and I don't think it really makes any sense.
And he didn't hold back. In a segment that's already gone viral, Stephen A. thundered, "Grow up."
But now, the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
He wasn't talking to Caitlin Clark. He was talking to every player and executive who refuses to acknowledge what's right in front of them. That Caitlin Clark is the reason the league is booming right now. She got you chartered flights, she gave you the ratings, and instead of celebrating her, y'all are resenting her, he said.
They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here, and y'all wasn't paying attention then.
That wasn't opinion, that was fact. The numbers back it up. The Indiana Fever have the highest attendance in the league, both at home and on the road. Some teams even moved venues to accommodate Clark's crowds. Viewership for WNBA games with Clark, over 1 million. Without her, under 400,000. So when Caitlin Clark suffered a quad strain and was ruled out for 2 weeks, panic spread like wildfire. Ticket prices plummeted, entire sections went unsold, sponsors got nervous, fans declared boycotts.
I think Stephen A. is 100% correct on this. At the end of the day, you already see people actually saying, hey, I'm not watching for 2 weeks. I'm not tuning in for 2 weeks. And it's really bad news for the Mystics and the Sky because both of those teams moved those games to big arenas. So it's like now that she's not playing, what is that attendance going to look like? The viewership, right? The viewership is going to plummet. I already know because majority of the people that's watching the Indiana Fever wants to see Caitlin Clark. And sad to say it, a lot of them only want to see Caitlin Clark. They don't really care about the entire team.
And what did Stephen A. do? He turned the pressure dial all the way up. He didn't just go after Reese. He scorched the entire system. He slammed Commissioner Kathy Engelbert for downplaying Clark's importance. He mocked the media for pretending the WNBA's rise was some collective team effort. And he lit into players like Reese who act like Clark's spotlight somehow steals their shine.
Earlier today that I want to show you right now. Put this tweet up, please, so our audience can see it here. At 4th Gen Bucci, B-U-C-C-I, right? Stephen A. Smith, can the WNBA keep itself afloat while CC, as in Caitlin Clark, is out? End quote. My answer would be yes. I'm not going to summarily dismiss the WNBA, its growing popularity. We get that part. But I'm not going to ignore, nor am I going to take my eyes off of what transpires with the WNBA over the next 2 weeks while Caitlin Clark is out with the quad strain. And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific.
She is special, he shouted. She turned this league into must-see TV. And instead of protecting her, y'all let her get hacked, slammed, and assaulted every night with no consequences.
I don't care about her leading the league in assists. I don't care about the points that she's averaging because I already know that the young lady can ball. She is special.
That's what made this different. This wasn't just jealousy, it was negligence.
And so now that we know all of this, and we've known that for months, now we get to turn around and look and see what exactly is it that the league will do knowing that she's out for the next 2 weeks. I'm not saying I know for sure what's going to happen, but I have an idea.
Stephen A. accused the league of standing by while its biggest asset was targeted, fouled, and eventually injured. And now that she's sidelined, the very people who resented her success are seeing just how bad the league looks without her. Stephen A. didn't mince words. He said flat out, the WNBA had lightning in a bottle, and they acted like it was just another rain cloud. Meanwhile, Reese, the so-called rival, couldn't resist keeping her name in the headlines. From petty shots to subtle digs, she's turned every Clark success into another talking point. And Stephen A. has had enough. He even called out the double standard. When a young white girl dominates, he explained, people say she's overhyped. When other players fail to draw the same crowd, they blame the media, not the reality. Stop fighting it. Caitlyn is the show, Stephen A. declared. Either get on board or get left behind.
Because if for some reason there is a precipitous drop-off, then everybody needs to stand down and recognize the fact that the speculation or the assertions and assumptions about her being the golden goose is validated. And if that happens, then you know what, you ride that wave. Rising tide lifts all boats. And if this is the magnetic traction that draws viewers to the WNBA, and her absence over the next 2 weeks due to that quad strain is providing further evidence of that, then everybody needs to accept it, stand down, and ride that wave. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how the ratings are going to look without her over the next 2 weeks. Let's make sure we come back and ask me this exact same question after she's been gone for those 2 weeks.
And here's where things get even more brutal. This isn't just about respect, it's about survival. Because while Reese may have a fan base, Clark has become the economy, the ticket sales, the merchandise, the TV deals. She's not just a player, she's the platform. And with her off the court, the league's flaws are suddenly impossible to hide. That's why Stephen A. snapped, because he saw this coming, because he warned them, because for months he's watched WNBA insiders undermine the only player who could change their future. And now that she's out, they're all watching the floor collapse. This was never just about trash talk. It was never just about one tweet, one hard foul, or one post-game comment. This is about how the WNBA handles power. Caitlyn Clark became the biggest name in women's basketball. And instead of celebrating her, the league tried to downplay her. Instead of protecting her, they let her become a target. Now, that decision is costing them everything. Clark's absence isn't just a 2-week injury, it's a 2-week free fall. Ticket prices slashed in half. Primetime games losing momentum. Entire arenas with empty rows because fans aren't showing up for women's basketball. They're showing up for Caitlyn Clark.
Because the majority of the people that's watching the Indiana Fever wants to see Caitlyn Clark. And sad to say it, a lot of them only want to see Caitlyn Clark. They don't really care about the entire team. Now, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like everybody who is rooting for Caitlyn Clark should be rooting for the entire team and watching the entire team and supporting the entire team, because even Caitlyn Clark stated that, you know, that's important to her. So I think if you are a diehard fan of Caitlyn Clark, that's something you should be focused on and really still showing your support and showing up for this team, because not one person makes the team. Like, let's just keep it a grand. Caitlyn Clark needs a team to get to the championship.
And Angel Reese, knowingly or not, just poured gasoline on that fire. See, Stephen A. wasn't just mad about the shots at Clark. He was furious that Reese and others are still acting like Clark's success came at their expense, that somehow the attention Clark gets is a personal insult. But here's the truth. There was no attention until Clark brought it. That's why Stephen A. snapped, because this wasn't a petty feud anymore. It was a full-blown identity crisis for the league. And while players like Reese continue the back and forth, Clark's silence, her decision to focus on playing, performing, and lifting the league, has spoken louder than anything else. Stephen A. laid it out with ruthless clarity. You can't build a castle and then act surprised when the queen moves in. The message was loud and clear. Clark isn't just good, she's essential. And if the WNBA keeps pretending otherwise, they'll end up right back where they started, begging for airtime and hoping someone still cares. But the damage isn't just financial, it's cultural. The league had a chance to unite behind a generational talent, to turn a rivalry into a celebration of the sport, to uplift all players through the wave Clark created. Instead, too many chose ego over evolution. Too many chose to compete against the spotlight instead of with it. And now, the fans see it, the sponsors see it, the media sees it, and Stephen A. Smith. He's just the only one brave enough to say it out loud. Caitlin Clark was never the problem. She was the solution. And every moment the league spent undermining her, every shoulder check, every snub, every dismissive comment only confirmed what Stephen A. knew all along, that without her, the WNBA is not ready for prime time. And the most ironic part, Stephen A. wasn't even gloating. He was pleading for the league to get it right, to protect its star, to ride the wave instead of swimming against it. Because this isn't just about one season. This is about whether the WNBA can finally grow up and realize what it has. So here we are. Clark is out. The numbers are dropping. The receipts are stacked. And Stephen A. is watching it all unfold like he predicted it from day one. The only question now is, will the WNBA learn from this? Or will Caitlin Clark walk away the moment she realizes she was never truly appreciated? Because one thing's for sure, Stephen A. isn't going to stop reminding them until they do.